All right, I woke up this morning and, okay, there it is. I woke up this morning and just started painting, and it's something I've been looking forward to being able to do for a long time. Waking up and walking into my own space and going, oh, this is what I was working on yesterday. And it's a tragic mess, or it's fabulous, and I need to keep going. So that's what I did first thing this morning. Unlike yesterday, where I showered and I did all my responsible stuff, and then I crashed and took a nap and never regained my momentum for the rest of the day. Today I started off with momentum, so I'm kind of sticking with it. I'm still in my semi-jammies. I'm smelly. I haven't washed my hair. I just dragged a toothbrush around in my mouth. That's pretty much it. But I'm at a somewhat critical point in the painting. Not that this is do or die and the world won't end if I get it wrong. But for me, if I don't get this particular stage right, I'm going to be spending the rest of my time with it really struggling, and struggling more than I usually do. So I'm trying to be really careful. I'm trying to think before I place the brush, because there's so much raw canvas and so many things that I can paint. I mean, there's so many ways I can paint over, and let me say, there's so much room for me to paint over things or place the wrong line. And so what I want to be cognizant about is how my reference material feels, how the placement of their lines feel in their clothing, the ties, the vests that these women are wearing. I have to feel them, and I have to feel them correctly. So I have to. Okay, again, have not quite woken up, but I'm trying. I have to feel my figures. I have to feel the reference material and not look at it and study it and say, that line appears to go down 3 inches. You need to feel it, really feel it, to put the lines and the coloring down correctly. But in the middle of what could be a real weight of, am I putting it down correctly and am I connecting in a meaningful way to the work, I have to think, how much do I want to fill up the empty spaces? Because for me, what I don't put down is just as important as what I do put down. When I start a canvas, I put down black and white striped gesso, and then I'll apply aerosol, doing the outline of the figures, and then doing a little bit more pattern work with aerosols, and then placing the figure in with a little bit more aerosol, then with chalk, then with oil paint. And unbeknownst to me, when I'm doing the black and white gessos, because it is just random, or so I think, because I just swipe it. I'm not looking at my reference material, I just swipe the gesso down. When I come back to it, somehow everything connects. The shapes, the shadowing, they all connect. There's a line in here where this hand is connected. And honestly, in the reference material, the hand shouldn't connect. But I've placed the figures so far apart, too far apart. I wasn't paying attention. I placed my figures too far apart. So I've had to shorten her reach. Instead of her hand coming down further, I've had to shorten it for it to feel correct. But in that, it just so happened to follow along the lines of the black swipe of gesso, both on both of the outer ends of the gesso. So I don't want to lose that, because it's coincidental and synchronistic and beautiful in a wild way. It also happened with the vest here. It happened with her vest over here. It's happened with her hair. All the swipes, the ending of the swipes, the content of the swipes, each end of the swipe has connected in a fairly meaningful way to my subject. So I don't want to lose it by applying way too much color as it happens, or oil paint. As it happens, here you can see a black stripe. You can see a black stripe here. That's where a swipe was made. That's where a swipe was made. And as it happens, this is shadowed in the reference material. So I just want to be careful. I don't want to lose it. I also don't want to overpaint, which is something I used to do quite a bit and sometimes still do. And then I get myself in a corner and I'm frustrated and I'm angry. So I'm somewhat at a critical point in my painting, and I want to stay cognizant of what I'm applying and what I'm leaving behind, of the positive and the negative space. I also want to be careful when I'm filling in their white shirts that I don't use an actual white. What I've got is, I do have titanium white for colors. I have titanium white. I think I have cerulean blue. I have a off-white Buffy something or other, and of course Neo McGilp. And my transparent earth red, a little bit of that mixed in. So I've got this kind of slatish blue that I'm using to indicate the shirt, and later I'll come back in and do white for the creases. This is one of my favorite things, is painting white, painting cotton, painting fabrics. So I want to allow myself the room to leave shadowing, to decide later, this is where I'm going to make a highlight, this is where light is going to hit. If I do it all in white now, I've blown it. There's no fun left later. There's no surprises. It will just end up being paint on top of paint as I try and apply shadowing over this, what could be a white, beautiful white shirt later. So I'm starting off with darks. I'm going to hit it with lights. Oh, don't fall over, please. So I've still got the patterns behind me that I made yesterday with the vest. I've got the checkers that I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to make that into something similar to this. Something similar to this, something similar to this, something similar to this. But I'm getting there. So first I'm taking on something I really enjoy and something that relaxes me, and it's the white cotton shirts. And that's the way I'm going to go. So right now, in my jammies, I'm going to walk Bugsy, let him go pee-pee, and I'm going to hop back online. I'm going on Periscope and doing a video where I'm just painting and listening to NPR. Right now, I was listening to Studio 360 on NPR, which is one of my favorite shows, but it's about to end. So when I hop back on Periscope, we'll probably be listening to Wait, Don't Tell Me, because it's Sunday. It's it's like 11:15. So I'm going to hop back on Periscope, and it's no talking, it's just me painting, and you hopefully working along if you want to, or just watching me apply one brush stroke at a time. But again, it's so we can be studio mates in another state. That's it. But for now, I'm going to take Bugsy for a pee-pee, and I'm getting back on and working because I want to make sure that I stay in this vein of being careful and cognizant and using wonderful color to highlight and to outline, as opposed to just going in and using, just dark. I want to stay in that mindset of like using unusual and beautiful colors in her tie, in the vest, in the backgrounds. So I'm going to walk the Bugs because he's been waiting very patiently, or, somewhat patiently. He's pouting right now. And I can't blame him, got to pee, Mom. And there we are. That's it. Okay? Ciao.